Hey, it's Soul with, okay, this isn't just any video. This is the video where I share some of my hype and excitement over the Shadowlands Alpha, which is about to start, not right now, not at this very moment, but this week. So there's a lot that we can expect. There is an announcement that I'm going to just read off and gush over and react to as we go. So we're all going to share in this together. Ladies and gentlemen, folks at home and on the toilet, let's do a little bit of reading. I'm going to put the thing on screen here somehow, some way, and let's just get right to reading some stuff. The blog post kicks off saying, it's been 5 months since we first revealed our World of Warcraft Shadowlands expansion at BlizzCon 2019. The whole team has been hard at work transforming the vision we laid out last November into reality, and we can't wait to share our progress with all of you. Well, we've been waiting forever. Later this week, we will send out our first round of invitations to a closed alpha test for Shadowlands. This first batch of invitations will mainly go out to longtime WoW players with active accounts in good standing, like me, as well as Blizzard friends and family, not quite me, along with a limited number of content creators and journalists, which I hope is me. This initial wave represents only a small fraction of the pool of testers that will ultimately gain access to the test in the coming months. If you're interested in helping make Shadowlands better, sign up using the beta opt-in link on the Shadowlands homepage, and I will have a link on the description below, folks. Later on, as we engage in PvP and focused PvP and raid testing, we'll also do some targeted invite waves that prioritize players with extensive experience or expertise in those parts of the game. So are we going to do like a Torghast thing too? Because if I don't get in like the first or second or 11th round, when Torghast comes out, then we'll talk about that in just a bit. Can I get in there? Because I like that sort of stuff, right? Anyway, when the alpha servers go live, we will have the full level of experience in the Zone of Bastion available, along with its accompanying dungeon, the Necrotic Wake. So considering that we start at level 50 or so, we're going to, I guess, get to level 53, something like that, level 50 to 53. That's just kind of a guess as to how far Bastion is going to take us. So now we know that Bastion is in fact going to be the first leveling zone in Shadowlands, or at least it's pretty darn close, right? I mean, we're probably going to get some sort of starting experience that starts in like the Maw, and then it's like, hey, off to Orbost we go to get an intro experience, and then off to Bastion because someone told us to go there, something like that. Testers who are interested in checking out our revamped new player experience can play through the Alliance version, yay, of the zone and tutorials. So it looks like there is going to be a kind of separated experience. It's not entirely what I thought it's going to be, or it's going to be, I presume that it's going to be a largely shared experience between the Horde and Alliance players. We'll aim to roll out new content on a regular basis throughout the test cycle. Later in April, we hope to offer the Zone of Revendreth, as well as a look at Torghast, the Tower of the Damned, our endless dungeon experience. So it's April 6th right now, as of this recording. So in the next couple of weeks, we expect to get the next zone, whether it might be feature complete, it might not be as complete as what Bastion is going to be. We're also going to look at Torghast, and my hopes are that it's going to be in a fairly ready state that we'll be able to dive into for forever. We will continue to unlock content such as zones, dungeons, and endgame questlines when they are ready for feedback, using template characters as needed to focus testing and feedback on specific parts of the game. So kind of what I was hoping for, I was hoping to get like some really specific testing done. This is going to be a lot more broad than I would like, but well, I can't really complain. So here we go. Once everything has been released into the test environment, we'll officially move into a beta phase, wiping all characters and kicking off a larger round of invites for an end-to-end test of the entire Shadowlands experience. So it's hard to say whether or not how long the alpha is going to last. If it's going to be like a 2-month alpha, that's just a broad guess. A 2-month alpha, and then from there it goes into beta. How long is that going to be? My expectation is actually, let me revise that 2-month. Let me go with like a 3-month or so alpha. So like a zone a month, something like that. And then from there, as things start as things starts to fill out and things move over to beta, then we get some more of the fine tuning and whatnot going on. So I am at least glad that with Torghast being testable earlier, as in April, we're going to get a lot more. We're going to get a lot more feedback in. We can make some tweaks and changes. We can give tons and tons. We can just bitch a lot, right? While content will be rolled out methodically over the course of the alpha, many of our underlying systems changes will be apparent from the moment players first log in later this week. And log in later, yes. And there will be hints of others that are still in progress. A few examples. One is that players of all 12 classes will immediately see changes in their spellbooks, talent, and in some cases, even their resources, which is great. The fact that shucks, I'm trying to remember. Back in the BFA Alpha, there wasn't a whole lot going on in terms of class changes. Things were kind of iterating. It looks like they've gone a long way towards making those changes earlier. So we'll have a separate blog coming out in the coming days discussing how we apply the class design philosophies we laid out at BlizzCon 2019 and giving key examples of the sorts of changes to expect for each class and their specializations. Unlike the last couple of expansion alphas where the conversation with the community often began with us saying, let us know what spells you missed the most, this time around we're eager to hear whether we've gone too far with unpruning. Maybe a bunch of folks actually hated Eyes of the Beast all along. Who knows? Chances are we're not going to complain all that much unless we see something where we see like rotations happen to get too bloated or something like that, or we happen to see instances where, okay, we stack this talent, this talent, this talent, this talent, this talent, and then all of a sudden we have like 11 buttons on our bar, and that's something that we're not happy with, but the Sims tell us that's the optimal thing to do. I don't know, but we'll have to see. Next part, we've been making improvements to our quest interface with an eye toward better distinguishing major quests that are required to advance the narrative from optimal side quests that tell more localized stories. Cool. Our work in progress 3D indicator of track quest objective locations will be available to use, which aims to reduce the need to bring up the map when navigating the world and help more clearly identify when an objective is above or below you. We're also rolling out a system that allows players to set a personal waypoint on the map, as well as share that pin in chat channels, so that you should no longer need an add-on to convey exactly where Rustfeather just spawned. Now, I wonder if that's going to include like just a simple, hey, here's the coordinates of such and such thing. And if so, that's going to kind of set the stage or at least kind of get everyone on the same page as to what coordinates of this and that mean. If they don't do a sort of coordinate thing, I'm probably gonna nitpick on it and say like, well, come on, Blizz, just give us a coordinate sort of thing. It's what a lot of people have been using. I get that people have been using 3D indicators, but I figured that we like having both available. So add-ons that help to indicate locations of things are still going to be important come Shadowlands. Anyway, next part. Also of note are some changes to PvP currencies. Notably, Conquest is once again a spendable currency earned through Shadowlands rated PvP. Ooh. Wow. Yeah. Should I even read the rest of it? But players will be able to use Conquest points to purchase specific items of their choice from a vendor in the capital city of Oribos in an easy-to-find location naturally. Conquest can also be used to upgrade that gear further, similar to how Benthic gear worked with Mana Pearls in Rise of Ashara. They're doing the upgrade thing. That's pretty fucking dope. Okay, we'll have lots more information to share on the details of this system, as well as our broader endgame itemization plans as the alpha rolls on and we reach max level content. I really wish that they didn't go like entirely chronologically, that we can test endgame first, because that's where we're going to effectively live for the next couple of years or so. Leveling is important, don't get me wrong. But just the time that we spend doing endgame content, I would imagine that they would want those sorts of things fleshed out sooner rather than in this chronological order, as in later. As our community and fan sites dig into the game files that are packaged with the client in the coming days, you'll also doubtless find bits and pieces of data relating to endgame systems like soulbinds, covenant sanctums, and crafted legendary items. Much of those features remain a work in progress and, especially in an alpha setting, the game's data contains numerous experiments and discarded ideas, so please take what you might find via data mining with a grain of salt. We remain guided by the core philosophies that we articulated at BlizzCon: player agency and empowering choices. We can't wait. I can't wait either. We can't wait to share details of these systems with you as soon as we're able. One of our main lessons learned from past expansions is the vital importance of carving out a large window in our alpha and beta for feedback and iteration on these endgame systems. Not to be a skeptic, but we'll see. Thank you for your patience, and we'll see you soon, no trademark, in the Shadowlands. It feels like a breath of fresh air. It's like being stuck in your house for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you finally get a peek outside at what's happened to the world. I'm excited. I'm super excited, and I'm like hoping and praying, oh my god, please let me in. So for those of you who do happen to get in, great. Make sure to double check the links below to get in. To opt in for the alpha or the beta if you're interested in testing any of this stuff. And well, what do you think, folks? So far, I mean, I'm impressed by how playable the alpha is going to be in this case. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember BFA as well enough, but I think I remember in Legion, not all the classes were even playable at the start of the alpha. So I'm glad that it's in a more playable state, that we can get all sorts of different perspectives and get off the ground running right away, as opposed to otherwise. PvP vendors coming back. It's been a couple years, folks. Actually, I think it's been more than a couple of years, but I'm super happy for the PvP community that they'll be able to get that sort of access. I know it's been something that they've been clamoring for and just pounding at the gates for like ever, pretty much. The quest interface stuff sounds great. It's always cool whenever Blizzard can take an add-on, add-ons that we've typically used over the years and be like, okay, let's do our own take on it, and they've been fairly successful at doing that. As for the other stuff, I'm just excited. I'm excited, especially for later this month when we get to check out Revendreth, which seems to be the second zone that we'll be leveling in, as well as Torghast. I'm really curious to see if Torghast is going to be, Ian had said that it's going to be a max level experience. The fact that it's being tested earlier, does that mean we'll be able to go into Torghast earlier, or does it simply mean that they want to take this big chunk of endgame? And it is going to be a big chunk of our endgame, folks, don't get me wrong. Are we going to be able to test that sooner? Or is it just that they want us to test it sooner? So let me know your thoughts and share your excitement or your absolute fear of what's going to happen over the coming months. Don't forget to follow and subscribe and all that stuff, because as soon as I get in, I'm going to be streaming this mother effer as much as I can, whenever I can. Darn rip horrific vision project, but I'm going to be working on that anyway. Anyway, let's get out of here. Share your thoughts in a comment below, and I'll see you soon somewhere. Until then, though, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.